Hi, I'm Ashley, Senior Analyst with RWC Northern Corridor, and today we're doing a deep dive on 45 Cessna Drive, Caboolture. So even if you're not looking to buy this particular property, you might find it interesting to see how we break down investment properties like this. So we really focus on three questions. What are you buying, who are you buying, and where are you buying? If those three things stack up, the rest usually takes care of itself. So what are you buying? This is where we look at the actual bricks and mortar of the asset, and again we ask ourselves three questions. Does it function? Does it break? And does it stack? So we're looking at a 13-unit, 3,178 square metre freehold industrial complex on a 6,438 square metre corner site. It's returning about $535,000 net per year. But does it function? The best way to spot function issues in an investment is to look at lease renewals. If the complex doesn't function well, tenants won't stay. It's pretty simple. So we've had 6 tenancies come up for market review in the last 6 months, and all 6 have renewed their lease. So this tells you everything you need to know about function. It has 2-street frontage that gives drive-through access for even the biggest of semis, which is so important, even for small businesses. It has big high roller doors, covered loading areas, plenty of internal natural light. It's got central on-site parking, undercover parking, office parking, and then overflow street parking. So all really desirable features. So does it break? By this I mean, are there any ongoing maintenance or capital expenditure issues on the horizon that stop this from being a truly passive, predictable investment? So I was on site 20 years ago when the first panel was lifted, and I've driven past it most days since then. Plus our property management team handles the day-to-day operations. So if there were any skeletons in the closet, I'd like to think I'd have spotted them by now. It was built by Acker Construction, who's still pouring panels today and is a really well-known builder in the local area, and he's really renowned for his durable buildings. So it's a full tilt panel construction, use concrete mezzanine, concrete staircases, all the air conditioning units still have plenty of life left in them. So overall, it's a bit of a bomb shelter. It's really solid property. So does it stack? So are you getting value for money in terms of the physical asset that you're buying? The easiest way to gauge this is to look at the replacement cost. So right now, vacant industrial land has boomed. It's now touching $800 a square metre. Some areas to the south, it's $1,000 a square metre. Construction prices are about $1,850 a square metre, not including council fees. So what that means is for someone to buy land, reproduce this complex, if they can find the land, it will cost them about $11.6 million and a year of frustration. Another thing to keep in mind is there's scope with this complex to actually strata the units into 12 individual units, which could then be on-sold. This would unlock even more equity. So who are you buying? This is where we look at income and tenancy mix, probably the most important thing in most people's eyes for an investment. Is the income secure? Is it under or over rented? And if you lost a tenant today, would you find one tomorrow? So for this property, the income's very secure. You have diversified income from 11 tenants across 13 tenancies. Now this means you're not reliant on the health of any one business for your income. So banks love this. So serviceability is their number one concern with commercial property. So with this tenant mix, you could lose 2, 3, even 4 tenants and still easily make your repayments. The net income structure means tenants are paying all outgoings. This protects you from cost spikes, so your net income is your net income. The varied range of businesses also means you're not at the mercy of any one market sector either. So it's not just builders, it's not just mechanics, it's not just service providers, it's a mixture of everything. So the average lease expiry is just under 2 years, but that's exactly in line with the average lease term for tenancies under 500 square metres across our management portfolio. As we know, these businesses just don't have the ability to plan past 3 years. So 1 to 3 year lease terms are just the norm. So is it under or over rented? This is something that's critical when you're looking at investment property. In our view, this property is comfortably under rented. We know this market really well. The average rent across industrial units in this complex is $165 a square metre. The average rent now being achieved in the surrounding area is $184 a square metre. More importantly, and something not many people look at, is the outgoings for this complex are only $28 a square metre because it's a big standalone non-strata. So versus $44 a square metre for new strata units. So that puts this complex almost $36 a square metre under its competition. So if you're to transition all these tenants to the same rate as the competition, your net rent would increase by $114,000. So what are the chances of finding a replacement tenant? So the high lease renewal conversion tells us the function is good, which is the number one consideration of new tenants. The rental difference alone means the tenants are saving an average of $10,400 a year just by choosing this complex instead of the competition. So looking at our dashboard this morning, I know that in the last 90 days, our team has had 108 inquiries and conducted 23 inspections for industrial units under 500 square metres in Caboolture, so the demand is strong. So even if we were to lose a tenant, we have a complex that functions better than its competition and is cheaper than its competition. So where are you buying? This is where we look at the location of the property and what's driving the market in that area. To do that, we look at the street, the suburb and the region. So the complex sits on the corner of Cessna Drive and Skyreach, which makes it one of the most prominent and easily accessible properties on the estate. It's 2 minutes and 2 sets of lights to get into the Bruce Highway, and half the estate has to drive past the front door just to get to where they live. So the suburb is Corporate Park in Caboolture. It's one of the most established industrial precincts in the Northern Corridor and has been for almost 30 years. So vacancy rates are under 3% and have been there for about a decade. So the region is Moreton Bay, which is one of the fastest growing regions in the country. So it's hard to overstate the scale of the industrial land undersupply issue in Moreton Bay at the moment. We have 100,000 people, which is the population of Rockhampton, moving into Caboolture West over the next decade, and businesses are fighting to get a foothold in this growing market. So I guess in summary, this is a strange property where it almost gives the income security of a residential complex, but the yield of a commercial property. So it gives the predictability of a hands-off passive investment, but the fact that it's under-rented and has upcoming market reviews means it has the capital growth of an active investment. If I was to put it into one sentence, you're buying a highly functional, low-maintenance building with a safe, under-rented tenancy mix in a region that has an exploding population and a chronic undersupply of industrial land. So if you're interested in looking closer at the property, you should really talk to our team, because we know this property, we know these tenants, we know this market, and we know the closer you look at this one, the more you're going to like it.